Hello, beautiful Simmers. Today we'll be going over the Sims 4 Vampires Game Pack CAS items. This pack retails for $19.99 USD. However, you can get it on sale on the EA app as they have sales every few months. If you do decide to purchase this pack, you can use a creator code. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a discount, but it is a way to support your favorite creators in that it gives them a small commission. As we go through the CAS items in this pack, keep in mind that it was released in 2017. We're starting off with the child feminine sim. We got Janessa here. Got a couple different hairstyles, and we're going through the one item that the little girls have, which is a cute dress. Love it. Very old-fashioned. Here's the styled looks. Now we're getting into hairstyles for the adults for the female side. This is a really nice hairstyle. The only thing that I still have an issue with is that you cannot change the color of the accessory in the hair on its own. It changes the color of hair with it, so that's unfortunate. This is a more neutral look, and then we've got this one too. I love the details on the flower and the pin. It's just a really cool item. And then we have this haircut. We've also got this hat, a top hat, very old-fashioned as well. Now we're going through earrings. Unfortunately, it just has one side on that ear. It's just kind of interesting. We've got two necklaces here. One of them is very Victorian themed. I think a lot of the styles you'll see in this pack are very Victorian. Now we've got a couple different eyeshadows, and you can change the saturation and hues on them as well, so you can have more of a customization to them. You can change the opacity, of course. And then we do have one new lipstick, which is nice. It's kind of interesting and goes with the pack. All right, we're on to our tops, and I love the ruffly detail that we've got going on here. It's very nice. It's just, I love it. I think they did a great job with that. Now we've got this one, which is a semi-see-through top. I think they did a good job kind of covering up certain parts, if you know what I mean. We've got this top here, which does seem very vampire-esque. And then we've got this simple tank top. It is nice. I think it could be dressed up or dressed down. Now into pants. These are pretty cool. They've got a nice design to them. And then we've got this lovely skirt. As you can see, I love the raunched to the back of it, and then you can see the ruffles as well at the bottom. I think that was a nice touch they did there. I think it was very creative. I love it. And then we have these capris, which I think are kind of cool how they tie up. We've got a pair of jeans, simple, you know. And then we're going into shoes. We've got a pair of boots here. If you notice the detail on it, it's kind of curved. These boots actually leave the back of the heel out, which I found kind of odd. Now we've got a few pairs of leggings, which is kind of neat. They're more like tights. That's okay, whatever. These ones right here, I love the detail on them. You can see the little skull, and then you can see like the little laciness to it. I think that was an excellent touch. You can see this one has kind of an ombre effect. Starting at the top, it's very dark, and then it gets lighter as it progresses to the bottom. And these ones have the skulls on them as well. Appreciate the attention to detail again. Now we've got some blocking here with these, which is pretty cool. It's something that we don't really see. Got some lovely gloves. I think this is so nice with the attention to detail, the laciness. Oh, I love them. They're so beautiful. For bracelets, we've got these cuffs. As you can see, the little detail on there, they've got bedazzled jewels at the bottom, and then they have like a weird, I don't know, honestly, it reminds me of like a bird skull, okay? Not gonna lie, up at the top. That's what it reminds me of. And we do have the same swatches for the other side, so you get the bands for both of them. We've got this lovely dress for full body items. I just love the attention to detail that they did. I love that the bows are kind of bigger in the back and that you can see a more Victorian style where it is bigger and it does have a lot more fabric to it. I love the flowers that they did here. I love how they're not painted on and how they actually stick out. I think that they did a great job there. And I love the detailing up at the top where it kind of curves. It's got that bump up and down, up and down. I think they did a great job there. I love it. I think that they did a lot of attention to detail with this dress. Like I said, in the back, it's very nice. And look, there's even a little rose as a button or something in the back. This dress here isn't extravagant, but it does have nice detailing. You can see the little bows on the side, and then you can see the corset type in the back, and then the bow at the bottom. And then we have ruffles at the bottom as well. I think it's really cool. We've got the vampire neck up at the top, which is pretty neat. And this one you don't have to wear a necklace with because it's already built in, which is kind of cool. And this, yeah, well, we're gonna need an outfit. That's not a dress, you know? But I do think that they did a good job, again, up at the top where there's ruffles, and then the cuffs on the sleeves are pointed. I think that that's a nice touch. The hems of the coat is very pointed. I think that that ties into the vampire theme very nicely. Now we're into some styled looks. For this one, they did decide to use the gloves from the base game, but it's still cool nonetheless. Here's some other styled looks, and I will be going through and showing you my own style. Now we've got child Calvin here. He's got one hairstyle, that's it, just one, and then one outfit, which is still kind of cool. I love the detailing on this suit. Look at that. As we zoom in, you can see that they've got more detailing on this. I love how it's very sharp. It's very sharp at the shoulders. See how it kind of sticks out a little bit, and then we have almost like a button there at the top of the shirt on the neck. Here are the styled looks. That's a glitch. Don't know why they're putting random shoes that don't match, but that's a bug. That's a bug, not a glitch. It's a bug. Look at that. I had to mess around with it a few times. Like, what is going on? Anyways, we're to adult Calvin. He's got the same hairstyle as the boys do. And then he's got the top hat, of course, which ties into the theme very well. This looks more like a chef's shirt, in my opinion. It also looks like they're trying to go with a Chinese traditional shirt there as well. This, I love that they have, it looks like a pocket watch to me. Now, I'm not sure what that's actually called. I know it can't be like a pocket watch, but that's what it reminds me of. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you know what that is called, leave it in the comments below, please. Leather jacket, it looks like, or jean jacket. Guess it's a jean jacket. I think that's pretty nice. It doesn't quite go with the theme of the pack. It's more like a regular jacket. We've got a couple pairs of pants here, which are recycled. We see the same ones on the feminine side, so there's a point drop for that. Not that I do rate these by point systems, but this is a really nice full body outfit. I love the Sherpa, or the faux Sherpa, whatever you want to call it, on the collar. I end the hem of the arms. I love that. I think it's really cool. And then in the back, I think it's nice where it kind of cuts in half. I think that's another neat thing that they did there. I love the little detailing on the shirt where the buttons are and it kind of bumps out. You know, those little bumps? I'm not sure what to call those, but I also like the collar, how it looks like it's coming, like it looks more 2D rather than just painted on. I appreciate that. The pants, I like them, how they've got the 3 different button type deal we got going on. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is called, so please bear with me. But I do think they did a great job. This one is a suit. We've got that same detail that we do have in some of the pants. So it's interesting how these pants are plain, but we do have a swatch that has that same pattern as the jacket on there. I do like the little bow tie on this one. I like the cuffs at the end of the sleeves. I think those are nice, how it is a little different from the jacket. It just is more of an accent, and how the cuffs on the sleeve also match the undervest. I think that's a nice detail. And then how the shirt has lines going through it. I think that's another nice detail. There's another one that we have. What are those things? Like an ascot? I'm not sure. How do you say that? Where they tie around the neck. We've got that. And again, the attention to detail is very nice here. I'm loving that. Here we've got the collar sticking up on this jacket. Everything is very cohesive, which I like. Here's an outfit, which is kind of interesting because this one doesn't have the design as the first swatches did. And it's weird that they gave it to us in like without having the swatches all together. They gave us like a whole other outfit. Here are the boots for the men. They match the female sides nicely. Here are the styled outfits. So you can get an idea if you're not one who particularly likes to style your sim, you can just throw these on. Now we're going into the vampire side of things. And here is where you'll find your different sets of teeth. We've got also mouth scarring, and we've also got cheek scarring as well. And we'll show Janessa's side as well. We've got some eye cracking. This very much reminds me of the vampires from Twilight. You know, they start to crack. We've got older wrinkle lines and stuff. And we're going through now the different color and types of Sims. You can't really customize their ears or anything like that like we can with the werewolves, which I found kind of interesting. This was from 2017, so keep that in mind. We're going over through Janessa's side. This is how you will be able to decide how you want your vampire to look. You'll need to change their occult to vampire and create a sim, and then you'll need to click on that vampire. So here is how she looks. Some of it is still, and some of it she still looks pretty beautiful. Not gonna lie. But we're gonna show, okay, yep, she's telling you she's a vampire. We're going through the little wrinkles and stuff on her so you can get an idea of what they look like on the feminine Sims. I just look at those eyes, like it's crazy, some of that. And then we got the mascara, which is unfortunate that we can't put that on in regular because it would be nice to have like mascara that drip down from crying. You know what I mean? More realistic. We've got the other side here. So we've got a lot of cracking going on, and it's more cracking around the mouth. And in here, we'll show you her teeth. Do not get bit by her because, oh my gosh, that's gotta hurt. We've got the makeup. I kind of wanted to show you here how it does look on the vampire. We're gonna go over styled looks, and we're doing Calvins here. And some of these I think was kind of interesting because the top that we have here doesn't really go with the theme, I feel like. As of course the males always get less than the females, so it's kind of interesting how some of these items in the pack can be everyday clothing and some of them aren't. I do think that that's kind of nice though in a way, but if you're looking specifically for that vampire only aesthetic, then it is kind of unfortunate that you are paying for a vampire pack and not getting everything vampire. Me personally, I think it's nice that they include at least one normal-ish item, a couple normal-ish items, because we don't, well, maybe not all of us want everything to be out there. This is very emo-ish like hairstyle. I guess emo is a whole different category. It has a bunch of different subcategories and everything. But I do think that you can form some nice outfits with this pack. And so I wanted to show you guys what it looks like with some of the makeup on here. This is just one of the looks. Now I wish we had more swatches of the cuffs, because that would be nice, because they don't go with everything when I was trying to put those together. I also wish we had more swatches to match this purple sweater or shirt here, because we don't have any pants that go with it. So that is unfortunate. I mean, I guess you can try to do the white ones, but why do we get swatches that match other things but not match? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. But some of it is very cohesive and very nice. I think there is a lot of neat things in this pack. I just wish that we had more swatches of some things. I also think with the men's items, where we got 2 outfits that were essentially the exact same, but one of them had patterns on it and the other didn't. I don't know if separating them was just throwing together, like saying, hey, look, here's another item, even though it's not actually another item, or they were just... But why wouldn't they put all the swatches together? That's what doesn't make sense to me. It makes it seem like they were being kind of lazy there. Maybe they devoted all their time on this dress here, because this dress is stunning. I love the attention to detail that this pack has. I think it is by far one of the packs that has so much detail to the clothing items. I really appreciate that. I think they did an excellent job with a lot of these items. I really do enjoy it, how a lot of these aren't just painted on. And this was from 2017. However, I do not like that the male items are recycled pants. I don't like that. I wish we could have had a different pair of pants for the men. A lot of it is recycled, and when they do that, it comes off as lazy. And I also wish we would have gotten more swatches of the tights. I think because some of these are kind of difficult to come up with something that is supposed to go with them. I mean, we could do this, but look at the colors are a little bit off. That's also another thing that's weird to me, is why do we have so many colors that are just a little bit off from one another? These pants match other shirts, which is great, but when we try to put it together with other outfits, it doesn't match so well. You see, like, those go perfectly together. So I'm not sure if they're just giving them to different team members and saying, hey, you do this, you do that, and they come out with different colors. I don't know. I really don't. But I do think that there also needs to be a couple more swatches in the boots. Like, we needed to have, well, let's see. It's only showing 1, but I'm going to show this again. This pink is a little bit different than this pink. I don't understand why they do that. I have to come up with my own. Maybe this, maybe that. I don't know. This was such a hard top to come up with something. I mean, you can't really wear the leggings as bottoms because look, you can see those underwear lines. You could even see them in the front. I mean, I guess if your sim is quite a ways away, but you know, and then we don't have any, we just have this dark vampy purple, which yes, goes great with that, but there's just, where's the dark purple? I mean, is this supposed to be the dark purple? Because this is coming off more blue to me. I don't know. It's just, some of this is just interesting. It doesn't, I don't know. I guess maybe you can use the base game and of course other packs to make it, but I do think there's some things where this pack really shines and others where it doesn't. I would say overall though, it is beautifully done. Like, there is just so much attention to detail in this. I am very impressed. I also think they did a great job with the vampire archetypes when it comes to how the sim looks. I also appreciate the skin details that they added for the vampires. I think that's another great thing that this pack has that, you know, other packs, if they're not an occult, don't have. I think you're getting more in that way. Would I say that this, for the CAS items alone, is worth the 20 bucks? Probably not. I typically wait to get stuff when they're on sale. So would it be worth the price if it's on sale? I think you would have to like both the CAS items and the build items personally. That's how I am with my money. I wouldn't just spend it on the CAS alone. Maybe after I've been doing this for a while, possibly, but while I maybe if you're into Victorian style, then I think you would probably think that it would probably be worth it, because again, a lot of these items, these clothing items, have so much detail to them. I cannot get over it. Like, this one's pretty plain and simple, but I think they did a really nice job with a lot of these items. I just am impressed. You guys will have to let me know what you think about this in the comments below. But if you want to watch the build buy portion of this pack, you can certainly check that out. And I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Bye.